Yo guys, welcome back to the Ballers Mindset podcast. Thank you to everyone that's watching right now and that's watched the last episode as well. We're on a new channel, so please subscribe and help us out. I'm really happy to announce that I've got a new co-host alongside me. It is the wonderful, talented and experienced journalist from Knots TV, Sam Hurst. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. That's such a lovely introduction.
I've been practicing
Thank
that all
you.
day. It's just for you, yeah?
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Wicked. Right, our guest today, is a guy that does social media content creation. He's worked with some big stars from Mason Mount to Jurgen Klopp. Where'd you go? The list is endless. He is Ibby from Baiteze. How are you, bro?
I'm good, bro. Thank you for having me.
Good, man.
Hi, Ibby. It's good to have you on.
Thank you.
Well,
both our first time.
Yeah, exactly. I know we're both newbies. We've been doing our research and we've seen on your social media that 2023 was a hell of a year for you. Just kind of run us through a bit of a recap.
It was mad, like personal and like career-wise, because it was the year that I finally got out of the trenches at uni, finally graduated, got it over and done with. And the year that I kind of just went full-time in the social media thing. And yeah, like there was so much growth like as a person, which was one thing that I really wanted to focus on, because sometimes you get sucked into like the world and the career you're in. Like you forget about like family, you forget about like yourself and just growing as a person. So yeah, it was an amazing year. Like I got to do a lot of new things, travel, like I even went to Ghana. Like Ghana was mad. Like, so yeah, we done a lot of traveling, a lot of growing, and a lot of work. Man, it was good.
Would you say that's your highlight, the Ghana trip? Because I've seen it on your social media. Like the education system there must have been breathtaking to see from the other side of the world.
So I went out with Baiteze, and we basically went out to. They have an academy there called Right to Dream. They don't have like football academies because there's just no funding there. So a bunch of ex-players basically set up a big boarding school, and they actually, like, when I say the ballers are ridiculous, like Kudus came from there.
Oh, really?
So many other players come from there, and like as people, they're some of the most humble kids you'll ever meet because they just want to be a pro. Like honestly, they've dedicated their life to just being a pro. So it was an amazing experience just to like see that side of the world, experience the food, the culture. It was lit, man.
What kind of stuff were you doing out there with them?
So we actually done a masterclass on like social media. So the chances of majority of the boys out there will become professional footballers, like in some capacity. So we went out there to basically give them a masterclass on how to like conduct yourself as a professional footballer. So it went all the way from like etiquette on like the post you like or like you endorse them. So if you're liking Neymar's post, who's a Puma athlete, and you're an Adidas athlete, just know like you're gonna get in trouble. So it's just like giving them that etiquette. Then we spoke about like brand partnerships, and like how to reply to like DMs and all that kind of thing. Like it was, I didn't realize how naive some of the boys were to these things. And like, I still chat to a lot of the boys from there now, like just looking at their career, see how they're doing. Yeah, it was an amazing experience and they learned a lot. Like we actually went out there with a purpose and we executed it, which was sick.
In what way? You know when you said naive, like what do you mean in that way?
I thought like these things were like common sense. Like I thought like liking a post is endorsing a post is common sense, and like what you tweet, people will see it like from years back. But like, well, to be honest, players are always getting bagged doing it anyways. So it's clearly not common sense. But I just thought like they'll be clued on. So like we got them to do like workshops and like, for example, DMs. Like we had like 3 different examples, like a girl DMing you, a brand DMing you, and a fan DMing you. And they literally, all of them was trying to move to the girl. And we're like, you're a big footballer. So we gave the example that they're Martinelli, but you're a big footballer and you're just replying to all the girls in your DMs. Yeah. So yeah, it was mad interesting, like, and they actually learned a lot. So like, you can't complain, like.
So you say there's no academies, but is there a professional league in Ghana then? And how good of a standard is it for them to get in there compared to the English pyramid?
I don't know about like the actual, like the Ghanaians men's division. Yeah. But I don't think it's that great for like all these players that want to come to Europe. So what they do is they have another club, I think it's a Danish club, FC Nons.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like partnered, are they?
Yeah, so they send all their boys to there and then they all just flood into Europe after. So many players have come out of there. Like Kudus is like the main one right now. He's just banging in goals. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the boys will be top players. Like I couldn't, like I went the first training session and I couldn't believe like how sharp they were, how good they were. And the reason I think they'll go far is because of just how good of a people. Like they sat with us, they were interested in our lives, and they were just good kids, I'll be honest. Like I think they went up to like 17, 18. and then they move on to like the Danish Prem and all that stuff.
Wicked. So how did that come about with Baiteze? Like how did that initially come about to go there?
I don't know how it came about business-wise. Like, honestly, like management just called me one day. It was like, are you free these days? And I was like, I've got shoots, I've got work, whatever. He was like, would you want to come Ghana? So then prior to that, I had no idea about this. But then once we got confirmed, it was a presentation and we had to like rehearse our lines and like how to present it. And I can't like, management are like militant. Like if it's not right, you're not going. So I just started a new job at Joe. So I was like super busy and I just couldn't get it right. Like I just couldn't get the presentation right. And I was going like work every day, doing my shoots and then coming to the office to like revise. And I just couldn't get it right. Like I just kept on stumbling. I kept on saying the wrong things. And they basically said like, if it's not up to scratch, you could come with us, but you're not presenting it. So I was like, I don't want to ruin it for everyone else. I don't want to be the guy that F's up. So then what happened is, it's like 2 days before the trip, I called like one of the management. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm ready to do it. So one of you man do it. And so I tell you what they replied. They replied, stop being a pussy. I swear on my life, they replied, just stop being a pussy. And they gave me a bit of a pep talk. And I remember I was like on the plane, just cramming all my notes in. And like literally the day before, just cramming it in. And I remember like, it was actually, so someone else went first. So Joel Mensah went first. And then it was my girl and I was like, I was nervous. Like my mum was messaging me like, is it done? Because she knew how stressed I was about this. Because I just didn't want to ruin it for everyone else. Like everyone's worked so hard to get out there to do the deck and everything. I didn't want to be the person that ruins it. And I remember doing it and I had to do it twice round for like 2 different sets of classes. The first time it was calm. There was a couple mistakes in there. But like once I'd done it once and it went fine and the management was like, yeah, it was fine. Like just improve a little bit here and there. And I knew that I needed to improve the second time. The second time I just went out and just done it. And thank God they were gassed. And it went well because that was my biggest fear. If it goes shit, I'm pissed. Because everyone's going to be onto me and I got another 5 days to spend with these man. So yeah, no, it went well, which was like the biggest thing.
I know about messing up. I've done it a few times. Obviously, you have a lot of live TV. How do you feel with that?
It's so weird because I feel like when you know that you've got to do something live, you don't mess it up because you know that once it's out, it's out. But when I know that I can edit something, that's when I mess up over and over again.
See, that's my biggest worry of live TV because I used to do Soccer AM and that was live, and that was like my biggest worry ever. Like messing up my lines or like being shit in goal because it's just gonna get bagged. Like how do you actually deal with it?
What, like with live stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Don't over prepare. That's the only thing that I do because I do a lot of like live events. And my thing is I just have to like remind myself once it's out, it's not going to be rewatched. It's not recorded to be seen again. Like you just do it and it's gone. So, and the other thing that I think is that if you make a mistake, call it out. Like the amount of times I remember I was doing the Commonwealth Games and you know when you stutter and you can't stop stuttering. Something came out my mouth and it was not English and I was like, I remember just going, I've put my teeth back in now, let's go again. This is what I was meant to say, and you just go again. And I think people rate that more because they're like, oh, she's human.
Like she just firmed it and just carried on,
Yeah,
because sometimes I have like, you just, in that scenario, you kind of just have to suck it up and just get on with it.
But it really surprises me that you struggled with that. Really does surprise me.
I've done presentations before, but for some reason this time I just couldn't get it right. And I was going every day, like 2-3 hours after work, and I just couldn't get it right. And like there's videos of me just stumbling and like, but then also with me, I think I'm definitely someone that just let me do it. As long as I know the content, I don't want like a structure of I say this here,
a bit of a freestyle.
Yeah, like let me just do it because when the people are in front of me, I feel like I want to engage with them instead of just like on the whiteboard just going this and this. Like it just makes it more like personable.
So for you, like when you were doing uni and then you realised you kind of got into all of this stuff, what was it that made you think like, oh, actually, I'd be really good at doing this stuff on screen and doing social media content? Where did that come from?
So it kind of started off with Baiteze. So I was like playing football and I was like playing at academy level / like trying to get that pro deal and all that kind of stuff. But then like one day I just snapped my ACL and I'm very like safe. And I regret it now. It's a way I kind of do and don't regret it. But I was like, my ACL's done. I need to find something else to do. Like I have to find something to live off because the chance of me being a pro are kind of pissed now. Like they're done. So I just done a lot more shoots with Baiteze. And then Soccer AM asked Baiteze if I could go in goal. And I went to Soccer AM, I was like, this is like, I want to do this. Like, it's lit. Like, I remember coming in and there was like, do you want breakfast? Do you want this? And like I'm sitting in the green room and bare people are just like asking me, do I want that? And I was thinking like, I feel like a superstar here. Like, this is lit. So then I kind of just got a pinch of salt of that and like got a little, just dabbled into it. I was like, I want to do this. Yeah. So I just kind of pushed and just done bare little internships and like done an internship at Sky, BBC, trying to get like the whole picture of social media, just like behind the screens as we were speaking about before, and then also on screen to kind of like really figure out what I want to do. And I kind of used my time at Loughborough to like have more free time to kind of just push. Because I'll be honest, I loved uni, but I loved it for the wrong reasons. Like I was never taking it seriously in terms of lectures. I was just like, this is my chance to just have fun, but also just push in the career that I want to push in. So I kind of just used that time. And I'm grateful because I had that time to kind of just work hard at it.
Wicked. So obviously your time at Baiteze, I like touching on that because I watched Baiteze growing up and stuff like that. So what was the transition? Was it the injury literally that took you from stopping playing to then playing Sunday League or?
So as I came out of a pro club, Baiteze was just like the club I used to just get minutes for. Not doing any like content, I was just playing. I was never a character there. Yeah. And I just wanted minutes. I just wanted to play football with the Mandem because I've had this tough time playing academy football. I just need to play with the Mandem for a bit and just enjoy it. Then once I'd done my ACL, I was like, all right, cool, it's kind of make or break now. And I had a conversation with them and they was like, Soccer AM's going well, everything's going well, like, is this something you want to do? And they kind of just like mentored me from all angles. So like Baiteze is just about like helping people, using it as a platform to play football, but also build your personal brand. Like Tenyola done it, came Baiteze, done what we need to do, went hashtag, now he's at Sports Direct. Yeah. So if you use it correctly, it's an amazing start to kind of getting into that social media world. And they're always honest. Like they want you to go do your thing and then come back for Baiteze for stuff like Ghana and like other opportunities that come around.
No, that's class. Go express yourself.
Yeah, like it was just that it gives you the opportunity to just be you. And like sometimes I get sucked in like social media about like not being fake, but being too media trained, like not trying to say anything mad. And then when you go back to Baiteze, like there's no rules. Like you say what you want, like you be authentic and you just be real. So it's kind of like, it gives me that reality check that like, don't get sucked in just for more opportunities, be you. And then the opportunities that come will be more like
made for you,
suited for you. Yeah.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to like ruin the mood and talk too deeply on it. But obviously, you did your ACL, and before that, you were, looking for a prospect in a future in football, mentally. And I know that you said that social media kind of pulled you out of that, and that's where you found your passion for it. But mentally, where were you at when that happened at the start?
So, ironically, this is actually like a good point. After I left football, I actually worked 9 to 5 in an apprenticeship at a company called like Christie's Auction House, which is like a big auction house. It's like 9 to 5, you wear a suit every day. And I can't lie, it was the worst thing of my life. Like, it was one of the most, like, amazing people, amazing company in terms of, like, it was very interesting, but I had no interest in it. And I was just like, this is not for me. And I just kept on going there. And I was like, I can't live the rest of my life like this. Like, I was 18, all my friends were, like, linking up, doing whatever, and I'm tired from work. And because the transition was from full-time football into like sitting on a desk all day, it like honestly it was the toughest thing mentally because like I was just tired. My social life's shit because I don't want to go out because I'm tired. It was one of the hardest like moments and like phases of my life to kind of get out of that, and that's why I just sucked it up and just went to uni. Like me going to Loughborough was number one, the uni is good for sport, but it was kind of just like I need to tell my parents I'm doing something so I could find something else I want to do because I just couldn't do that apprenticeship for longer. That's why I'm like, apprenticeships are good, but also don't get sucked into that working man's lifestyle because you're still young. Like, enjoy your life, express yourself, do what you want to do, find stuff at that age. Because at 18, you don't know yourself. Like, you're going to find other things that you enjoy. So, yeah, like it's always a weird one with apprenticeships, but I'm not going to go into that. This is football.
But I'm going to be the devil's advocate a bit here. Obviously, for you, your injury came when you were quite young.
Yeah.
For people that have careers up into like they're, let's say 26 years old, they're doing really well, they're professional, and then the injury comes. do you think there's a massive pressure for people to have a backup now?
What are you saying that as when they're already a professional?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like
It
for you,
depends.
do you feel like you were lucky that, you know, this injury came when
Yeah.
you were young and you hadn't
Yeah.
maybe established a career where you thought like football is my future, but for others, like they go into football, think this is life, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't hit them till late 20s, they're like, well,
And
what
the thing
next?
is, I know people like that as well.
Yeah.
And like, it's a hard one. And I feel like people do struggle with it because like you've dedicated all your life to this. At like 21, 22, you haven't really got any work experience. You're kind of just in it. And where else do you kind of go? I would always say that I'm lucky. And to an extent, I would kind of say my ACL was actually one of the biggest positives in my life because it kind of allowed me to find what I want to do. Because even when I was not a pro, but when I was in full-time football, I used to actually not enjoy waking up and going training every day because it's like mentally draining, it's like tough on the body, and it's just mad competitive. And I realized after, I was like, I kind of wasn't made for this. Like that environment is just long. Like I want to just kind of climb up, but there's so many avenues and so many people that are trying to stop you. So I was just like, looking back at it now, I was like, everything happens for a reason. So I'd kind of say at the time was probably the best thing for me to have that ACL injury.
100%. So you turned a negative into a positive then, really?
Yeah, but it was like that injury was so long.
I can see you crumbling behind the story. You're like, holding your face.
Like it was one of the. I was lucky because I got to go to like an amazing clinic to do my rehab, like Isokinetic, one of the best clinics, and I used to go like 5-6 hours every day because it was COVID, and it was like, you know, when you could do like medical stuff, and yeah, it was just one of the most like best experiences because I learned about myself, I grew as a person, but it was physically so demanding. It was not, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. Like it was one of the most toughest experiences.
Didn't you do like a FIFA conference with them as well? The
Yeah,
centre that
yeah.
you did. Yeah, what was that all about?
So they asked me, like, bear in mind, like, I have no interest in like the human body, medical. So they basically called me up Monday. They was like, we have a huge conference, like the world's biggest medical conference. Do you want to be a speaker? And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, let me get back to you. Like, I researched it, and there's like in front of 4,000 people speaking about something. So like, I can't blag to them about what they've spent their whole life learning about because I'll get caught out in an instant because they're all like PhD doctors and like some of them are like big surgeons, like surgeons that have done surgeries on like Van Dyke, and so you can't lie to them, you can't blag to them because they know what they're talking about. And they basically said to me, you don't need to prepare nothing. Like you just come and we'll ask you about your experience. And honestly, I was like, oh, yeah, it's gonna be calm. Like I'm just asked about my experience. Walk into the actual like stage now. I sat at the front because I was the first speaker. No one's there, but there's bare seats. I'm on my phone, I stand up, turn around, and the whole thing is full. And I'm like, shit, I actually need to speak in front of this now. And I kind of just went on stage and just like, when I say winged it, like, but it was about my experience. So like, it wasn't that bad, but an amazing experience.
Wicked.
Like for me, like I value experiences over a lot because it's just like, it's memories. Like who would ever think that I'll get to speak in front of like 4,000 people at a medical conference? Like it's one of the most random things ever. But it was a sick experience though.
Do you feel like you cope with the public speaking now? Because you've had two things there you just said.
I still like get nervous every time, but I feel like that's just me as a person.
Yeah.
Like I overthink so much. Like
100%.
I would have done like a shoot like 100 times and I'll still overthink it and be like, oh my God, like, because there's so many different factors that vary in like on a shoot. And I'll like prep for it too much, I'll overthink it too much, but it always goes well. And on the flip side of that, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, it's not life or death. That's actually the way I think of it now. Like, if it goes shit, no one's going to die. No one's going to lose their job. Like,
That's it. If you stutter, you put your teeth back in like
Yeah,
Sam
Like,
said.
exactly.
you fuck it up. And
And I
that's the way I
stutter
see
all
it
the
now.
time.
Like, so, yeah, that's just the way I see it. And I think it's just the best way to see it. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
So for you, when you first started out with all the social media stuff, you said that you got the Soccer AM stuff going for you. Do you think, they always say in this industry that you get one gig and it's like the domino effect for all the others.
Yeah.
Would you say that Soccer AM was that one for you?
Yes, I would actually.
Yeah.
So I done Soccer AM, and like, at this point, like the reality is it was kind of on the decline anyway. Like it wasn't doing well, whatever. But I tried to make the most out of it. And I remember like I was walking in Loughborough And then someone calls me like on unknown number, and I'm like, hello. And I was like, oh, like it's Alex from Sky, like one of the best producers ever, by the way. It's Alex from Sky. We asked the Soccer AM team for a goalkeeper, and they recommended you. We have a shoot at Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp in like next week. And I'm just like, I'm a Liverpool fan, by the way. And I'm just like,
I was about to contact later on, but go on.
no, but like it was one of the like, I was so gassed. Like I was so gassed.
Yeah.
And it kind of came from Soccer AM. So going back to your point, that is a very big domino effect. And yeah, like that was an amazing, like that. I remember it was mad.
Any imposter syndrome?
Oh, I still get imposter syndrome now. Like, I still get, like every time I do a shoot, I'm just like, wow, like this is actually my life. Like I went out to Germany with Adidas for the Predator event, for the new Preds that came out. And the whole time I was there, I was like, this is not real. Like, this is like, I'm in Adidas HQ, staying in the German national team hotel.
Mad.
To come and see boots that I used to beg my parents to buy.
Literally.
And like, I got first access to them like in the world. The only other people that got to wear them are the actual pros. And I got to wear them, got to try them out, make content with it. And like, yeah, imposter syndrome, I always have imposter syndrome, I'll be real. Like, it's just something that I always have.
Wicked, man. We're going to move on to the one-word game. It's getting a bit serious there, so we're going to put some fun in there. We're going to reel off. It could be a person, a place, or just a topic in general. You're going to give your first one-word reaction straight off the dome. We're going to come back and talk about them, but your first word reaction to it.
Okay.
Sam's going to reel off a couple of things.
I'll start. First one, BaitezeSquad.
Family.
Second one, Jurgen Klopp.
Goal.
What was that?
Goal.
Go.
Yeah.
Football Joe.
Job. Yeah.
Job.
Jimmy Bullard.
The funniest.
And then best player you've created content with. Ooh. That's a hard one. I've looked at your Instagram.
Some resume.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I'll have to say De Bruyne.
Wow. The shout, innit?
The fact that you can even say that is
crazy.
mental.
I'm just trying to think, like, because
Don't rub it in there, that's it. De Bruyne's good.
Sometimes when you work with like older players, you kind of forget about them. Like I've done stuff with like David Seaman, Ian Wright, but then like I can't talk, I've never actually seen them play. So I can't actually say, but probably De Bruyne, Saka's up there. The best player to film with in terms of content wise was definitely Maddison.
Because he's the character and
he's
showman.
Is he like that? Is he dead like that when the camera's off as well?
Yeah, like
really?
He just stood there. Like it was with Billy Wingrove, who's a Spurs fan, and like and they were just chatting just about like clothes, literally about drip, just about clothes and stuff like that. Pochettino was like very good as well.
Really?
Considering how Chelsea are doing, and like he was one of the funniest guys ever. Like honestly, Klopp, but not
too many name drops to go
I know.
Like, the story I have with Klopp here, nothing will ever beat this as a Liverpool fan. So the first time I done a shoot with him, it was COVID, and I couldn't get a picture with him because you had to stay 2 meters away from him. And then we done the same shoot a year later. Yeah. And we done the shoot. It all went well. It was sick. And I was about to walk off, and Klopp was like, "Oh, I remember you. You're a Liverpool fan. Do you want a picture?" Oh. So he technically asked me for a picture because he was like, he remembered last year I couldn't get one, and like there's a picture you see on my gram, and like it's like my iconic picture because like he technically asked me for that picture, and it was just it defines him as a person.
He technically asked me for that. I love it. Yeah,
he's a fan of Baiteze.
He's a fan of Baiteze, man. But yeah, like Klopp will always be that guy, like for me.
Amazing, bro.
Everything you see on camera, he's better off camera.
Now, we were going to go through and talk through them, but I think I want to start with Klopp.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I have to say,
how you feeling
and I don't want to
now?
make you cry, but just like, you know, talk us through that moment that you found out.
No, I actually did cry, by the way. Like, I did have tears in my eyes. So I was actually at home and I was walking up like from breakfast, and Fabrizio Romano, I don't know how he got it first, by the way.
He gets everything first.
He tweeted it before Liverpool did, which is mad. So I see it because I have his notifications like turned on. And I click on it, I was like, this is not real. And then I see it's actually like blue ticked Fabrizio Romano. And I just stood there and I was like, and I ran down to my brother and I was like...
He's looking around like, am I being punked?
And then I went back to my desk, just sat at my desk, and I just deeped it for like 10 minutes. And I kid you not, I was actually getting emotional. Because like this guy has actually helped my club, but also helped my career. Because every video I post to him gets like 4 million views. Yeah. And it just helps my socials better. So it's just like, He's actually helped make my career, bro.
Literally.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was a mad one to take. I'll be real. Like I generally was like upset, and when I went into the office at Joe, and they were all just taking a piss.
Yeah, so do you know that podcast you're doing with Joe? Was that shortly after or the same day or?
Yeah, so it was the Monday.
Oh, okay.
So Joe was like, so Football Trending is basically Joe's like show, and we basically got all the stuff football like that's current happening, and I basically got told that it'd be like you kind of have to go to Liverpool to vox the fans and see how they're feeling, and I was like sick. And so I went up to Liverpool on the Sunday, like bearing in mind just booked on the Saturday, on the Friday, and I'm interviewing the fans, and I'm getting emotional as I like hear them speak because I'm like, this means so much to these people, and like they're actually like crying on the mic, and I'm just like, I hear it, bro, I get it, I get your pain, and then the next day we filmed it, so just like it's a quick turnaround, like. So I'm always out on the weekend getting content for Monday's show, which it's hard, like when you have a social life, but you have to suck it up and do it.
Well, especially that one, obviously a Liverpool fan yourself, you're seeing these people cry. He's brought the good times back to Liverpool.
Bro.
What are you going to do now?
Honestly, I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I think Salah's going.
Yeah.
I think Trent is probably gone. Van Dijk, that guy, did you see what he said?
What, like if he goes or?
No, he came out and said that I don't know about my future here or something like that. Oh. And then the next day he put another statement out saying, I'm fully committed to the club. Okay. Like we all know what happened there, man. He sent it to a journalist and then Liverpool's like, we need to put our emergency interview because that looks so bad.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to fall apart, I'll be real.
Who would you be happy, I mean obviously there's rumours, who would you be happy to take over after Klopp?
I want Alonso, but also I don't know if he's ready for it.
He's doing unreal.
Amazing.
In Germany. Unreal.
He's killing
It's a great question.
He's killing it. But the players in his team fit his system so well. That's why I'm like, if he comes to Liverpool, he has to rebuild a whole new system. Yeah. And then again, you have to go up against Man City, which is like
the animal,
like the machine. Like going up against like Arsenal, that's all well and good, but ultimately you're gonna have to come up against Man City at some point in the season, whether it's Prem, Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, or FA Cup. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'll take Pep though. I would love Pep at Liverpool.
How are you gonna go there?
I would love Pep at Liverpool.
I'd love him at Forest, but hey. I feel like Jurgen Klopp's just that guy, do you know, like, he's got everything about him, innit?
Yeah,
and it's
I mean, I think everyone loves him.
Yeah, like,
everyone loves him.
Like, you know who I would want? And Postecoglou from Tottenham.
Really?
I love him. I think he's so good. Yeah. He's like a Klopp. Like, he just says it how it is. The fans love him. Like, he's actually made Spurs so much more likeable this season.
Yeah, 100%.
I just think he's a media genius.
Yeah, he just plays it so well, and he has that like fun personality. So I would actually take him. Like, if Tottenham just have a bad spell and we just stay in Ange, I'll take that all day long.
Would you be happy with Steven Gerrard returning to the club?
Someone asked me this, and I was like, I love him.
I love how you crumble. It's so funny.
No, I love him, but also I don't want him to ruin his legacy here.
Yeah,
like
he's ruined it in Saudi just a bit, isn't he?
Exactly, and I don't want what happened to Frank Lampard to happen with Gerrard. Also, like Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, like Arsenal fans started to like literally kill him towards the end of his career, and it ruined his like overall legacy. And I kind of don't want that with Gerrard because he's like one of our greatest.
The idol. For fans.
I think as a tribute, you just need to, let's leave the work bit out. You need to tell us like the best memory that Klopp has ever given you as a Liverpool fan.
Great question again.
Champions League. Like winning, actually no, tell a lie, Premier League. Premier League. Because Champions League we've done that, Premier League we've never done. And for him to do it in that COVID season was big, because that COVID season was like, everyone tried to use that, no, it's only COVID, no one cares.
Probably the hardest year, right?
Yeah, it's probably the hardest year. Like, all the players have come back, and yeah, it has to be that Premier League. Like, I was so upset I couldn't go out there to like be at the club and the stadium. But yeah, Premier League all day.
100%.
Yeah, all day Premier League.
Wicked. I'm going to move on to Jimmy Bullard. So you said, what did you say again? I can't even remember.
The funniest.
The funniest, sorry. Yeah, so we thought he was going to say crazy. That's what I predicted
crazy
he was going to say.
Good word.
Crazy's good.
Crazy is a good word.
So how crazy is he behind the scenes? Because on camera, he's like, he's funny, he does his YouTube with golfing and stuff like that. What is he?
He's
like?
probably the same off camera. Like, he's just fun. He just vibes. There's a couple of stories from soccer, but I actually can't say it. Like, he would actually kill me.
That's what we want to know.
Nah, man, I can't say it. But there'll be times that he just comes in and like he'll be late. Like, honestly, like he'll come in like 10 minutes before the show starts, and everyone's like, "Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy?" And he just comes in like no stress. He's just like, and then he'll go out and just kill it on the show.
Yeah.
Like as actual journalists, we're like, how the hell do you do that?
What?
That just come in 10 minutes before the show starts
and just smash it.
Just smash it.
And just do it. Are you asking me? Because I'm not capable of that.
Yeah, see, I'm like saying like, and I look at him, I'm just like, how the hell do you do this?
Yeah.
Like everyone's stressing, they're all calling him, and he'll just walk in and go to makeup room, do his makeup, whatever, go check, like speak to the guests and just go out and do it. Like he's one of the best professionals, but he's one of the craziest people I've ever met. Like I've like basically all the Soccerarium old boots, like it was in a bag, and like I'm in my dressing room and Jimmy's like, "Oh, Ibs, come mate, come," and like he has this bag of boots and he was just like, "Just take what you want, mate." Like, and I'm just like, "Is this a test?" Like he was like, "Yeah, like it was all gonna go to waste anyway." So I took like Messi's old, not his actual old boot.
Oh,
Yeah, like the replica.
One like a replica of a model that's like discontinued, and I took like just bare boots and just all at home, and Jimmy was just like, "Yeah, just come and take him." And, like he's just one of the funniest people ever. Like even now, like, I'll speak to him every now and again.
Yeah.
And he's still just like people like that who'll check up on your career, like how you're doing.
Oh.
Tubes is another one who's just like amazing. Like me and Tubes, yeah. So I do snus in it.
Right.
And Tubes does it as well. And every time we used to come in, we used to always do like a crossbar challenge. And whoever loses it has to give the other person snus. Like that's the type of like vibes I was on soccer. It was so relaxed. It was so casual. It was just fun. Like during the show, I used to always be on the pitch just kicking balls around, and no one used to say nothing. Like it was just one of the best environments I've ever been in.
Do you mind me asking if you got paid for that, or was it that work, or was that just like a voluntary thing you did off the back of a few bits of work? Or
You did get paid, but at first no.
Okay.
At first no. But yeah, no, it was a sick experience, man. Like, and that just had like, as you said, as a domino effect, it just like skyrocketed things, and like it helped me just become, number one, learn how a show works, which is a big thing. Like, not many people knows what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things I've learned, knowing like a running order and all that kind of stuff, and just preparing me for when I'm the main talent. Because I was just in goal at Soccerarium, but when I had to be the main talent, you have to learn certain bits. You have to act a certain type of way. So they were so good in terms of that.
Do you like watch other shows now and think, "Oh, I know how that works behind the scenes"?
Yeah,
because I do all the time.
All the time.
I watch
I'm
like TV and news shows, and I'm like, "That her auto cues just cut off there. She's had to go back to script."
Yeah, like all the time I'm like, I look at like sets, I'm like, we all know like off this is just like a big room.
Yeah.
Like it's never like an actual set. I've learned so much from just doing. This is another thing, is like I used to always use it as a chance to just learn. Especially when I'm like kind of going into this industry, like no knowledge, and just it's like actually the perfect way to learn. It's free. It's actually just free work experience. It's actually paid work experience, because you're going on a shoot, but you're just learning other things. So like I even asked Curly, who was like the main producer, I was like, "Can I do a 2-week internship?" So when it's not my turn in goal, I actually come and just be a runner.
They'd let you do that?
Cool.
They did let me do it, but then COVID happened. And then they were just, that's how I kind of got the Sky internship, because like someone at Soccerarium was just like come work at Sky for 2 weeks. So yeah, man, like I have to always give a shout out to Soccerarium.
No, that's props to you, man, because you went there, done the Soccerarium, you could have just done the goalie bits and went home, but the character and the personality you have to like, I want to learn more, that's just obviously led you to the career you have now.
Literally, bro, like it was an amazing experience. Like Sky overall, I'm like mad grateful to them. Like they gave me experience off the pit, off the camera, and on camera as well. So I've like loved them so much.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, man, they're amazing. Like they're so good, man. Like the people there are just like, they're more than just colleagues. Like they actually check in on me. Like when I have like personal stuff, they'll shout at me. They'll be like, "Are you okay?" Like one of them, like even when I was like going for a bit of a madness, he was like, "If you want to stay at mine, just come stay at mine." And I've just met him at shoots. I probably met him once, and like it's amazing people there. Like, proper good people.
That's class. Want to pick one? Got a couple left.
Yeah, let's go with Football Joe. What did you say for Football Joe?
Work.
You said job, innit?
No, I said work.
Oh, you said work?
Yeah.
Job.
Yeah, 'cause, like, it's probably one of the best jobs you'll ever get.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, my job is literally interviewing people, making content. Like, I've been there probably approaching 6 months now. I've been Germany with Adidas. I interviewed like Son. I've got like my own show. Like they're honestly so good. Like the people there are like so like they just want you to learn, and they just want you to like they'll try to do everything in your power, but like the opportunities you get from it are like mad.
Yeah.
And when I'm there and when I'm doing these shoots, I just get so much imposter syndrome. Like I was with Hyungmin Song at the EA event, and I was interviewing him, and I was like, this is so mad. Like, this is so mad, because I've always wanted to become... So, like, when I started off as a goalkeeper, I was like, how do I now transition this into, like, a presenter, interviewer? And that was, like, one of the biggest challenges I faced, because like, I want to do the goalkeeper stuff, but people don't know me as that. People don't know me as an interviewer, they know me as a goalkeeper. So it's like, how do I kind of transition that? And Joe's kind of given me, like, that perfect platform to just focus on skills and, like, improve. So yeah, they're like amazing, and there's so many like big things that they like going out to the Euros, going out to like so many events. It's sick. Like
it's class. Do you feel like the when you meet the fans and interview them, was there a lot of stuff that has to be cut out, or a lot of passionate fans? Yeah,
to be fair, some of them move mad. I'm not gonna lie, some of them move like ridiculous. And like at Joe, we're not trying to stitch anyone up.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to show like your bad side, or like, because some people say some crazy things. And if they like slag off a player, like those, like for example, if they slag off one player consistently and they're just going for him saying he's shit, he's this, he's that, we just won't post it. Because like,
well, you can't really.
Like
legally, sometimes.
No, like you can. Yeah, defamation of character is a real thing. But like I kind of don't want to post it, 'cause I kind of don't want to be a part of that type of content.
Yeah.
Like I want my content to be good for good reason. I want it to, if it doesn't do well, but I've made sure it doesn't slag off someone or it doesn't take the piss out of someone, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
And there's been bare times that my content doesn't do well, but I'm like, at least I know that I didn't like kill a player's morale from a fan chatting shit about it, because like players see everything.
Yeah.
Like especially when stuff's like circulating like tweets and like players see it. Like I have friends that are pros and they see everything.
Really?
Yeah. Like one of my friends plays for Fulham in the Prem, and he's not active on Insta, but he's active to what's being said about him and this, that, like, yeah, they see everything.
Have you ever had hate or bad comments that's affected you?
Yeah, I have actually. So when I was playing, now after this encounter, I generally didn't care. But like Baiteze's fan base is quite like hardcore.
Yeah.
And one time I had an absolute stinker in goal. Like I woke up, didn't want to be there. And honestly, like they were like death threats. No, they were actual death threats. I'm thinking,
oh Jesus.
And like management called me, and I was like 17 at this point. So I was young, and I was just like, I just wanted to kick ball. Management called me and was like, whatever's happened, don't look at the comments. Bro, naturally I'm going to look at the comments. Like
that is the worst thing to say to.
Is to look at the comments.
That's the worst thing to say, especially to a young player.
So like, I'll look at the comments, and like, I'll actually literally get off my phone right now, and they were literally just going off at me. And I was like, how the hell did I deal with this? And I just kind of at first it rattled me. And then I don't care. And then after, like, Soccer naturally just had bare like shit comments, like get a better goalkeeper, do this, do that. And I was like, yeah, but I'm on national TV, like I really genuinely don't care. Like I genuinely don't care. Like sometimes I used to even reply to the comments and be like, I'll put a bill that you won't score against me. Like, and then people just told me stop doing that. Like stop nibbling.
Worst thing to do,
yeah. Like stop, because the thing is, I like the banter. Like I like the nibble and like the back and forth. But in the long run, it's just a stupid thing to do, I'll be real.
100%. So BaitezeSquad, you was touching on it, and
yeah.
How did you first get into that?
So they're like literally from my area, and it's basically like there used to be like a session on a Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at West Ham Community Kicks. Like it was just like, but like all that the best players would just go, and it was the standard was high, and I knew a couple of the players that started Baiteze, like Musti, Quincy, all them kind of guys. And they started Baiteze, and I used to watch it. But then they used to do remember the challenge videos?
There's a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, but they used to do it after the sessions.
Okay.
So I used to sit there and watch it and be like, this is lit. Like, this is sick. And I was just like I was kind of like, how do I get into this? Like, how do I kind of ask my way? Like, I kind of want to be a part of this. And then one day Musti called me and was like, we need a goalkeeper. Like, we need a goalkeeper to play on Sunday. I was gassed, bro. Like, I remember I was at my nan's house. I was like, this is lit. Like, I can't wait to do this. And I kind of just done it. And and like they just took me in more. And it was like a proper like important time of my life, because that's when I had the apprenticeship, and like my mental state was like really bad. It's like I used to look forward to just being with Baiteze, man. Them like they used to kind of like bring me back, not to reality, but just help me out mentally. And like there was like, I remember after one shoot, it was with Specs, like Musti drove me back home, and like he asked me, like bro, like what's wrong? Like you don't seem yourself. And I basically just cried to him in the car. I was like, bro, I hate like what I'm doing in my life right now. And like we stood there for like an hour outside my house, like in his car, and like he was just like helping, because he's a lot older than me, and because naturally I'm one of the younger ones at Baiteze, I kind of get like little brothered and like babied a little bit, which I love and also I hate. Like you get kind of like, you kind of become that little, like they just take the piss a little bit. But also because they're all so clean-hearted, they all generally give a shit. And like me, like doing this social work and like just presenting and just like my career's doing better. Like they're the first people that turn around and be like, we're proud of you. Like keep going, keep doing your thing. So like they're literally like some of the most clean-hearted people I've ever met. Like they're generally like my extended family.
And do you feel like wherever your career now goes on, Baiteze will always be part of it some way?
There's like in some way, shape or form, like whether it's I stop doing on-camera stuff from Baiteze and help out with behind the scenes, I'll do that. Because like I want it to be a thing where like them that are kids get to come into stuff like Baiteze to like kind of help themselves as well, and kind of not even to like for social stuff, but like kind of to just help themselves in terms of like being around people that are like, they just want to play football, they just want to have fun, they just want to have good vibes. Especially like from the area that Baiteze originates from, there's like a lot of gang stuff and like a lot of like crime. And I know it sounds mad cliche, oh, we want to help them get off the street. But Baiteze is actually such a sick way of doing that. So yeah, like I think whatever I do, Baiteze will always be in some sort of capacity.
That's amazing, man. You said like obviously they're a big part of your life and stuff. Yeah. So obviously I don't know if you know about Baiteze before this, but they're a big YouTube team. It's literally, in a way, it's quite bigger than some like non-league teams. Yeah. Because of the exposure it has. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it actually is bigger than some non-league teams. But it definitely comes with like its positives and negatives. Like people just chat shit. Like that's the reality of it. Like people are always going to be, once you put yourself out there, you're always going to open yourself up to like people just chatting shit and abuse and all that kind of stuff. And non-league is already bad for that anyway, because I used to play non-league and it's just, it's a chaotic game.
Raw, innit?
But like the non-league fan base is quite old. So when they see people like Baiteze, they're like, what are you lot doing? And they're ironically the people that I think are a bit more like, these are just a bunch of joke men. Yeah. Like these were like taking a piss, but like not realizing that we've won the nationals. Like we're like this season we're still in every competition. Like we're in the semis and quarters of nationals, semis of London. So like we're all banter, we're all this, that, but we're actually good at football as well.
Yeah. One of our co-hosts, Connor, who's on a previous episode with they got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Nationals.
Oh, swear.
So winning the Sunday FA Cup, I seen you with the trophy, falling asleep with it in the changing room.
That was
what a feeling to win that.
So like after my ACL, and this is like another reason I love Baiteze, I knew that I can't actually keep on playing football. Like my body just don't allow me. So like I came to agreement with Baiteze, like you're still part of the squad. And I basically said to them, I can't commit every Sunday anyway. So they brought in Mo, who's like one of my closest boys, and it's hard for goalkeepers to have that. Yeah. But because I know that I'm not gonna play, I just want him to do well. And in the final, like they put me on the bench, I get a medal. Like, yeah, like they're amazing like that. And like even this year, there was like, imagine we have 3 goalkeepers, none of them could play. So I had to play 1 week, and I was like, I can't play. Like, I'm gonna be shit. I haven't played football in like 2 years. And ironically, I messaged Quincy. Do you know Quincy? Yeah. I messaged Quincy. I'm actually gonna get the text out. I messaged Quincy saying, I'll read you the text. It's a bit mad still. Where is it? Yeah,
quite far up though.
No, so I was like to Quincy, I was like, bro, I'll be real. I don't think I'm ready to play. It's the FA Cup. I'd rather you get someone else. I haven't played a competitive game in 2 years. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. You know what he replied? He was like, what kind of mentality is this?
Put you in your place.
Yeah, and then I just had to suck it up and play because no one else would play. And I love Baiteze, bro. Like, I would actually do anything for these man. For the team, I ended up playing, and I saved I saved 1 penalty in the game, and I saved 5 penalties in the shootout. And like, we ended up winning, and I got man of the match. And I was like, I'm gonna have to come back to ball, you know. Like, I still got a bit.
Don't push it.
Yeah, and then I was like, and then I woke up the next day, and it took me like 2 weeks to recover from that game because my body's just not conditioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Baiteze, like that's family, man. Like they'll always be family.
100%. We're gonna go on to another game now. We're gonna do. She's been dreading this all week. I've been telling her about it. It's the co-host versus guest. So Connor and Chase beat Mark White in the last episode. So I'm gonna give a category, and you're gonna give me like a sudden death penalty shootout, one answer at a time. The first person who either gives an incorrect answer or an answer that's already been said will lose the shootout. So there's your chance to get the guests 1-1. Obviously, we've got a couple of guests coming on. Hopefully,
so can we
take
do
the
like an example round first?
Yeah. So basically,
Because I don't want to lose. I mean,
Sorry, yeah. So the category, I don't want you to see this. So the category is teams in England to win FA Cup 5 times or more for men's and women's. So there is 16 possible answers. There's 4 women's teams, there's 12 men's teams, and there's 2 teams that cross over men's and women's. You're allowed to say either or. So, for example, Leicester City are not on the list, but you're allowed to say Leicester City men's team and then Leicester City.
And we just
women's.
go back to back, right?
Yeah, and then whoever folds first loses. So
Is this the real thing or like a?
This is it, mate. This is it.
That's fine.
I'm really scared.
This is live TV.
Like, this is live TV. Actually.
We're
No,
ready.
it's here.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the chance to go first here because the guests they're lacking. They're 1-0 down at the minute.
Arsenal men's.
Arsenal men's record holders 14 times. Good shout.
Manchester City. Men's.
Man City men's 7-time winners. Nice. Current holders.
Man United.
Men's.
Yeah, Man United men's.
Man United men's are second on the list with 12 trophies.
Okay.
Sound back to you.
I want to do a women's one to like get it out, but I'm not sure if if my women knowledge is good enough. It should be. I'm going to go Chelsea men's.
Chelsea men's are on the list. They're third with 8.
Wait, did I say Arsenal men's first?
Yeah.
Okay, Arsenal women's.
Oh, what a shout. So they're top of the women's list with 14 as well.
They always win it.
Very successful. Come on, Sam.
I'm going to go United women's. No.
I have a feeling they're not on it, you know.
Are they not? But their squad's unreal. Let me do another one.
No, wait.
Second chance. Edit it out.
Okay, come on.
What have we said? Read out what we've said.
So we've had Arsenal men's, Man United
You can't
men's,
read them out. If she repeats it,
Chelsea, City men's, and Arsenal women. This is a new thing.
I'm stressed. I forgot everything you just said.
if you repeat it, that's surely
I can't.
the point.
You're gonna have to say one now. I've given you 2 chances this.
Okay, have we said City women?
That not on the list either.
Yeah, they're not on the list. Of course they're not going to be on the list. Their men's are just
Neither United women's either. Come on, Sam.
I know.
I thought you had that as well.
I know.
Ibby, that's class. Any more, Ibby? Go on,
We're oh no.
Liverpool. We haven't said Liverpool.
I'm scared.
What's that?
Oh, I
We
didn't
haven't
even.
said Liverpool.
I haven't said Liverpool yet, no.
We haven't said Liverpool. I have a feeling Leicester might be on there.
Leicester are not on there. That was the example. I said they're not on the list.
Oh shit! Actually,
Damn it.
This one's
How many more men's teams are there?
So we had the Liverpool, Spurs,
I didn't
Villa
even
with
say
7.
Spurs. I was trying to be different and get a women's team in there,
Trying to
and
be
I got it all
bougie.
that's
wrong.
how Arsenal women's first because they're the ones that know always win.
We had Newcastle, shout out Chase from Leicester Podcast Studio, he supports them. Blackburn was 6.
Oh, Blackburn's a great shout.
Everton, West Brom, and the big one on the list that I was looking for. It's a team that actually don't exist anymore. They won it the first
Was it
time.
Rushden?
I know this one.
Go on.
Wanderers.
Wanderers. They're not affiliated to like Bolton Wanderers or anyone.
swear,
they won it 5 times and that's it.
I think they won the
Dip.
first. I think they won the first one ever.
That's mad, right?
Literally,
Like,
bro.
I think they won
So
the
they
first.
won-
I think it was like the first ever FA Cup they won, and then because they were like the only decent team,
They could just
they
win
like
it.
won it for like consecutive years going on.
So they just like there's no.
Dip, save.
Yeah.
Done.
I rate it still. Take your dubs and cut.
Yeah.
And then the women's was Southampton with 8, which is a
Southampton.
shout. The next one's even more of a shout. Doncaster Rovers was 6.
Actually, no. I have seen Doncaster in the WSL
Yeah.
before. To be fair.
I'm surprised about United women.
They're quite new on the scene, aren't they?
Yeah, City and United for women's are quite.
Yeah,
new,
but
like,
I don't know why in my head I just thought they're unreal.
It's always kind of been like Arsenal, Liverpool women's have always kind
Yeah.
of dominated, and Chelsea women.
Yeah, Chelsea women's are
Yeah.
the last one on the list with 5.
Yeah, Chelsea women's kind of always
didn't say
dominated as well.
Chelsea
Sam, come on. Well, that's that rounded up anyway. 1-1. So next guest, we've got a couple on, so hopefully we can get 2-1 up against them. But yeah, well done, Ibby.
I'll take that, bro. I'll take that. Thank you.
Well done, Ibby. Okay, we're gonna go back to just one quickly of the one word game.
Go on, bro.
It was the best player you've created content with. So you said James Maddison. He's funny on and off camera. Who else is there? I know you got a lot of name drops for us.
Mane was good. Mane, like you see Mane and De Bruyne, they're like the same type of character. Like, so my biggest thing is like when you always go in with a player is like it's kind of player dependent. Like you would know, like if they're in a good mood, cool, we're good. And it's just like everyone's just hoping that they're in a good mood, like whatever. Like, and Mane and De Bruyne was kind of the same. They're just very quiet, very humble. Yeah. Like they just keep themselves to themselves, but not in like a disrespectful way. They just want to kind of do it and cut, which I'm all for. Like this is a job, so at the end of the day. But once you like start chatting to them and you start like having conversation with them, you see them open up. So like for De Bruyne, it was his TikTok. So I asked him about his TikTok and he was like, yeah, like I pay someone to do it. Like I was like, in my head I was thinking, the guy's posted like twice, bro. I was like, what are you paying him for?
I'll do it.
I was like, I honestly was asking, I was like, bro, like I promise you I'll get a post a week for you, bro. Like right now you've had like 3 posts. So after that, he was like, you could tell like what I've realized, when you start speaking away from football, that's when they're a lot more like open. Yeah. Because they realize that, all right, cool, like he kind of gets how footballers operate. Because it's such like a unique world that if you know footballers and you know how to kind of be around them, they're a lot more receptive to you. And that kind of helps the shoot because during the shoot, they're just a lot more easier to work with. Madison was good. Dan Burn was really good, by the way.
Really?
Dan Burn was hilarious.
Made you look tiny as well.
Oh my God, Dan Burn was unreal. Who else was good? Oh, I'm trying to think now. Saka was good.
Yeah.
Saka was good. So I done an advert with him for New Balance, and like my role was he basically like barges me off the ball, and it was so long. We had to do this like probably like 20 times. So I'm going shoulder to shoulder with him like 20 times, and I'm not trying to injure no one, bro. Like, so like he's like to me, cause he watches Baiteze as well. Like he's a big Baiteze fan. Really? So he's like, bro, like I'm a big man. Like just get like, cause I'm not trying to injure anyone. Yeah. But like part of it was like he kind of shrugged me to the floor. It was a boot like campaign for New Balance, so he kind of shrugs me to the floor, and I'm just like, I want to go harder because I look like an absolute dickhead here. Like I'm just getting barged off the ball. He was really good. Madison was good. We actually made when he was coming up, it was like we actually made like a starting 11 of like the players I've worked with, and looking back, I'm like I'm actually so grateful like to get to do that.
There's a whole bench in reserves for you then. To be fair, normally we have, so before Sam joined, we had like I think when we'd ask the guest, your all-star 5-a-side team, but for you we'd need literally, like I said, a full team bench and reserves.
Yeah, like we actually realised, like we was going through it, and like in goal it will be Ben Foster, back four would be Trent, Stones, Koulibaly, and Ake. Ake was really good as well. Ake was just like the Man City boys are always quite good because I feel like they just have cameras on them 24s now, so they were always kind of good. But yeah, probably Madison, De Bruyne, or Mane for me.
I have like a 2-part question. So when you go into these interviews, first of all, how much do you prep? Like, is it a lot of research?
It depends. Like for me, it depends on the actual content I'm trying to get out. Some stuff it'll be like, if it's for like Joe, some of the stuff will be like social games and like, you know how you have like build your ultimate player, and then the other stuff will kind of be what's happening in the world, or like you're kind of looking for what would do numbers without trying to like get the player found out, or without trying to make the player look bad. So sometimes like on Sunday I'm interviewing, remember Flamini, the Arsenal player?
Arsenal, yeah,
and like he's not someone that like you have like bait information about, so it's like you kind of have to look and try to find players that he's played with to speak about, and like so some of them it requires a lot of research. Some of them are red carpet stuff, so like you're trying to stop them for them to give you an interview, and they're like the hardest ones because like you could prepare for these people and they might just walk straight past you. Like
So have you ever gone into an interview, and I know he's kind of, De Bruyne was a bit like this, but have you ever gone into an interview, felt like they just weren't giving it back, and then you've like landed a fact or something, and then they've gone, oh wait, this guy knows what he's on about? Has that ever happened to you?
I don't think like, oh sorry, Aubameyang was the best one. Aubameyang was
just another one.
Just another one.
No, I can't lie. He was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like he told the PR person, "Oh, let me stay for another 20 minutes."
Oh,
because we were just
nice.
kicking ball and we were just having fun. Like, he was the nicest person ever, and he's the one that I would think like he didn't want to do it until like I spoke to him and I was just like this, that, and like he saw my sniffs as well, which definitely helped. He knows, and then he was just after that he was so calm, like he was so calm. Yeah, Aubameyang was definitely that one. Like, there's been players that I won't mention that have just been terrible on the day, like terrible.
Because I guess for them, they get asked about football from the media all the time, and like I guess journalistic media is got a bad light on it anyway.
Yeah.
So if you talk in and like you do have to win them over sometimes, don't you?
Sometimes they're kind of just waiting for their time to be done, because like you have the PR person or like the player liaison that's sitting there. Like if you have 10 minutes, they have their phone out
stopwatch on
and have the stopwatch on, and you're just like, if the shoot's done, like. If the stopwatch is done and you're mid-shoot, it's time to go. Like the chance of you getting that content now is like none,
zero.
basically. So there is like a lot of pressure on it sometimes, but then also it kind of goes back to the point: what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like, what's the worst? Like they're all humans at the end of the day as well. So if you're just honest with them, be like. Sometimes I actually tell players that it's 20 minutes of your time. Just act like you want to be here, and then go home. Like honestly, sometimes they're just like, you know what? I respect it. I respect it. Some players I would never speak to after this. Some players follow me back on social media. Some players that will message me. But I'm just like, I'm here to do work as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you feel like in a way sometimes you're teaching them because they're just playing football? Sorry. sorry. Do you feel like sometimes you're teaching them because they're coming here to like do a shoot? They're a bit like lethargic and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you like teaching them like, look, this is refreshing and
and like Baiteze will always be the best at it. Like when it comes to like getting players to be authentic, Baiteze will always be the best at it. We done a video with Mane for New Balance, Adrian, Keita, Joe Gomez and Ox. I've never seen them like that. Like we have Mane dancing, Ox dancing, because like we basically just said to them like, we're mandem, you man be you, like be who you are. Don't let this whole media stuff like. So like Mane is like dancing to our songs and like it was so lit, and that's why Baiteze will always be the best to make content, because they're the most authentic, and the players will always feel the most relatable. Like so many players watch Baiteze, it's mad. Like Prem players, Champions League players, like they'll sit there and they'll snap like the people who they know in Baiteze and be like, this guy's fucking hilarious. So like when Saka came into that shoot, Saka was like, we saying Quincy? Because he watches us. It was mad. Like I was like, rah. Like
everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah, like because it was. Like, he was just like, yeah, like I watch you man all the time. So like, because they know us, they're so much more like relatable to us, and it will always just be the best vibes.
That YouTube scene now, it's crazy how it's taken off like that.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, obviously there's a lot of online beef between like us, Dons, UTR, but like it's online. Don't get me wrong. There's a rivalry, but like G, for example, I saw him at a Puma event last week. And he came to me, and you know, like, he's just mad heavy-handed, bro. I don't know why he's like that. Like, he'll shake your hand.
Big man.
Yeah, bro. Like, I told him, stop doing that, bro. Like, it hurts. Like, but like, he came to me, and he just gave me the maddest hug, like the longest hug. He was like, Ibs, I'm so proud of you. Like, I haven't seen him for like probably like a year and a half. He was like, Ibs, I'm so proud of you. You've overcome your injury. You've graduated from university, and now you're doing like what you love. Like. Bro, people that watch Baiteze will never think that conversation's being had, because everyone thinks we hate each other. Don't get me wrong, on the pitch, rivalry. Some of the stuff these men do, weird. Don't get twisted. But like, these men generally like, they want you to do well, because they know it's like...
Yeah. They know what it is.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? We're all trying to make a career out of this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I will always give respect to them, man, in that aspect.
Thinking about that, saying we're trying to make a career out of it, what do you think the longevity is with what you guys are doing on YouTube at the moment?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I think it's kind of falling off. Sometimes I think it's kind of going back up. It's a really weird one. I think Sunday League has gone over competitive a little bit, meaning it's losing the characters, it's losing what made it fun to watch in the first place.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like Don's team are like basically non-leagues 11. Like it's actually like step 4, the best of step 4. Baiteze is a bit similar, but the standard is getting so high that it's kind of losing that fun part of it. Nationals don't help because we're all trying to win the nationals. Yeah, I don't know in terms of longevity. I think there's definitely commercial value there, but it needs to stay true to what it's known for and the vibes, the banter, the shit football as such. Like it's known for the weird and wonderful things.
Those early days were the best, where you would turn up with like hardly any players,
bro,
fights on the pitch. That's what people wanted to watch.
Yeah,
in a silly way.
And them moments are the moments that made Baiteze.
Yeah,
and sometimes I feel like it loses it because it's so competitive. Like some of the funniest players for Baiteze can't stop play. You see it with Dons as well. Some of the players don't play because they're not good enough, but they're the best characters. And I feel like that's where I sometimes worry for like the Sunday League scene.
In terms of just the YouTube teams.
Yeah, just the YouTube teams. Like I wanted to keep its authenticity and like the characters it has. And sometimes I feel like Dons do it, Baiteze do it. It gets so competitive that you kind of lose them characters.
What Dons did well is had the XI team. So the older players that ain't as good, but the characters we played against, so they beat us 2-1. But there's still some good ballers in there, isn't there?
Yeah, like and you get and it gives a chance for the boys that can't commit to Sundays to kind of play. Baiteze was thinking about doing that, but we're just like, I'm not gonna lie, we're just not committed people. Like to get a squad on a Sunday is hard enough. Like to now do it for like a second team is going to be 10 times harder. So I think that idea got binned so quickly.
I want to ask about kind of what's next for you, but first I just had a question that popped in my head.
Go on.
We might not even be able to use it because if it's really good, it might be copyrighted. But say so obviously what you guys do with Baiteze is like fun. It's you kind of get away with murder almost with some of the content that can go out compared to like Sky.
And like branded stuff, yeah.
If you had free reign on one segment or feature that you could do that would get like the viewership that Sky Sports gets, and you could pick 2 players to do it with, what are you getting them to do and what are you like hosting with them?
This is actually a sick question because
amazing.
I would love to away, Sam.
You go.
You do it. Okay, cool. So what I would actually love to do is, we will get cancelled so quick, by the way. Is like a boys' PlayStation party?
Yeah.
Like I would love for us to just kind of get that recorded and
just
like,
pro clubs,
Warzone, whatever. Yeah. That is like some of the best content you'll ever get.
No censors.
No censors.
Absolutely,
like, we're just chatting shit to the our opposition and like that is some of the best content. And I've done it with like pros as well.
Yeah.
I've done it with like actual players and like they're on like burner accounts on PlayStation, just chatting shit over the mic. Burner accounts.
So who would you pick to do it with? If you could pick 2 players to sit down and do it with, or managers, anyone, former, current.
You know, one manager I'd love to do it with, Ian Holloway.
Oh wait, what
actually,
guy?
Ian Holloway and Jimmy Bullard.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That would be so good.
You'd be full night on that.
Yeah, like
copyright it here and now because if that ever happens, that happened here.
I would actually do that. Like if I could just get them on a PlayStation and just chat shit for like the whole night, it would be so fucking amazing.
Raw, mate.
Like the content will be unreal.
The maddest thing is, I'm going to say now, one of the ideas we had was to do like a FIFA alongside a pro and just talk, but it wouldn't be the same as what you're saying. What you're saying is literally the raw PlayStation parties. You'll be your boys till 1 in the morning.
Could never get posted, bro. Like it's just like it's a football. And what happens behind the scenes of football is a crazy world. At like the top level of Premier League, it's like I can't actually say what goes in, but it's a mad world. Like the shit that goes on is fucking crazy. It's so lit.
Yeah, it's
like
not even
in terms of
imaginable.
like the lifestyle, the partying, the going out it's top tier still.
Yeah, it's mental. Did you want to ask the finishing one?
Yeah, I just feel like
I'm just letting Sam do it.
Sorry.
No, she's good. Let her go.
Obviously, we've spoken about your whole career so far, but in terms of what's next for you and what that end goal is, what's next?
I always think about this and I could never, like, I actually don't know. Like, I freestyle everything. I'm just like, wherever it goes, it goes. I have targets. I want to build my socials this year because I kind of don't post enough on socials, which kind of never helps, like, growing followers. Just stay more consistent on that and kind of just really push in, like, the content scene and working with more talent and also being like the main talent.
AB, it's been amazing to have you. Thank you so much for coming down. Sam as well, thank you for joining us and hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had
Make sure you
fun.
say yeah on camera.
absolutely.
Ibby, I'm just going to finish with, what is the meaning of football to you?
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah. It provides opportunity to be a professional, but also what I always told my friends that are in the pro game that I want to be footballers, there's so many jobs, there's so many things you could do in this industry. Content, managing, agent, there's so many things, and it just provides the opportunity to kind of change your life in any aspect, like in anything you do, whether it's agency, whether it's content, whether it's being a pro, the opportunities are endless for me.
Inspiring.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Ibby, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Buzzing.
Honestly.
Done.